So, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the second session of ParaView 5.8 webinar. So, my name is Michael Miglior. I'm here in the room with Charles Guenet and Nicolas Vuaille, who will assist me during this session. So, they are reading the chat, so don't hesitate to ask questions if you have any. During this session, I will use some files. You can download them in the link that should be in the description. And you will also find some useful links that will explain some of the things I will present during the session. So before we begin, we are very sorry about the technical issues we had last week. I think that everything should work correctly with YouTube. If you have any issue with the sound or with the image, please comment in the chat. I will present today some of the new features in ParaView 5.8 regarding all the improvements we have done so far in the material representation of the surface. So I will start with creating a torus. Let me just increase the resolution of it a little bit. There we go. So one thing I want to present now is the background properties. You should be familiar with it. You have here all the options to configure the color of your background, and you have also many options to have a gradient if you prefer, or an image. But we have also added recently in this version a skybox. So basically, a skybox will take images like this. We call this an equirectangular projection. So this is a full scene image that will be represented at full 360 degree. So let me just load it in ParaView. So for example, you have this one. So this is some kind of garage or something. And you can load any other skybox. So you have a more darker image. But let me choose the first one for now. So, in order to configure the material of the surface, you have here a property group that is called it is called lightning. By default, the default material of ParaView is actually Guro. It is known also as the Phong shading. So basically, you have three main properties: the specular, the ambient, and the diffuse properties that will let you modify the material effect of the light on the surface. But in fact, it is quite difficult to represent some real-life material with those settings, because you can actually create some really weird material with non-realistic colors. So we have introduced in this version a new representation of the material that is called PBR. So PBR is actually standing for physically based rendering. So when you select it, you have actually you can't choose anymore the specular and the ambient properties, but you have two new properties that are called roughness and metallic, And actually, those properties will compute all the diffuse and the specular contribution automatically based on those properties. One thing I want to mention before is in the background properties, when we have selected the skybox, there is a new checkbox that is, it is called use as environment lightning. So basically, when you check this box, you are actually telling ParaView to use the whole image environment to compute to act as a light. You have the light inspector here. So by default, ParaView creates a light kit, which consists basically in 5 different lights. This is why you have 5 spots here. So when you use the background as a light, you can actually disable it to have a better rendering of the surface. So yeah, back to the material configuration. So as I said, we have 2 different properties here, roughness and metallic. The first one will define how smooth is your surface. So you can have a really smooth surface here. So you can see that we have a nice reflection of the skybox. Or you have a completely raw surface, but you can have any value in between to configure your material as you want. One other thing that is really cool is the material property. So you can actually configure the material the value as any value between 0 and 1, but for a realistic material, you can definitely choose if the material is either a non-metallic material or a completely metallic material. As you can see, it's very easy now to configure the different kind of reflection if we have a smooth material or a metallic object. There is also a way to configure the color. Here we have a solid color. The same way as the Goro material. So for example, if you want some kind of copper material, you can just select the color here, and you have a nice material. But you can also, of course, select a scalar field. So, for example, you can select the normals here. Let me choose the first component, and you will have your scalar field that will be represented, but here with a metallic aspect. All right. Is there any question? No question so far? Okay. Something that is really interesting here is that all these attributes are actually mapped to Osprey. So if you want to represent this kind of material directly using the path tracer, you just have to enable it. So of course, in order to have materials, you will have to select the path tracer here. And as you can see, the material is quite similar to what we have in the PBR engine. You can also select the optics path tracer. So it takes a bit of time to compute the internal structure, but it is using here the NVIDIA ray tracer engine to display the materials. So depending if you have a good GPU, you might want to use optics instead of Osprey. But keep in mind that Osprey is have a better support right now in ParaView, so I would recommend you to use Osprey if you have the choice. Yeah, so let's try all these material with a more difficult dataset, more complex dataset. Oh, sorry. Seems that we have a crash. There we go. So let me just load another time the Skybox. So you can find online a lot of material, a lot of data sets that you can download in GLTF format. GLTF is a very popular format right now. So we have introduced in ParaView a plugin that you can load in the release that is called GLTF Reader. So you just have to load it, and you are able to load GLTF file. So here is a model of a kind of bottle. We will enable the PBR rendering here. Just let me check if I have, no, I have not checked it. All right. So when you have loaded this kind of dataset, you might want to use texture instead of uniform material. So for this, you can load it with all those checkbox, so those combo box. Sorry. So here we can load the base color texture. So here I have loaded the texture, but you can see you have some texture displacement here. This is because there is several norms for texture in the graphics, in computer graphics. So basically, the origin of the texture can be in the lower left corner or in the upper left corner. So depending on the texture, you might want to flip the textures. So you just have to check this box, and here we go. We have now the texture that is correctly placed on the dataset. So there is also three other kind of texture here. You can load the normal texture. So the normal texture is basically a specific texture that is used to display some of the fragment, to add some kind of more 3D perception of the object. You will see it easily. Let me choose it. Here we go. So we have now more detail on the object with all these textures. So there is some kind of point or grain here. So it is adding a lot of detail on the object. You can see here on the text. And you can actually configure the contribution of the this normal mapping using this slider here. So you can reduce the effect, or you can accentuate the effect of the normal mapping. So it's just a scaling of the normal distortion. So we have also a material texture. So this texture can be loaded like the other one. So the material texture will encode three parameters: the occlusion, the roughness, and the metallic. We call it ORM texture. because actually the texture is an image with free component. So the red component will encode the occlusion coefficient. The green channel will encode the roughness, and the blue channel will encode the metallic. Because all those three parameters are actually scalars, so using one texture to encode the three parameters is actually a nice way to optimize the memory print. There we go. So when using a material texture, you want to put all these sliders to 1 because they are acting like the normal scale as a coefficient that are multiplicated to the parameters that are encoded in the texture. Yeah. So you will have nice material so you will have metallic surface here and more plastic one on the other part of the object. The slider here is to modify the occlusion strength because the occlusion cannot be a global material, a global parameter. So having a slider here will control the occlusion contribution on the material. So if you see here, we don't have shadow because the property is set to 0, but you can increase the contribution and get a very cheap way to have the ambient occlusion. The last texture is the emissive texture. So keep in mind that this texture is not supported by the ray tracer right now, but you can load it for the OpenGL PBR rendering. It basically encodes some kind of emission of light on the object here. So just to have a quick look at the textures. So this is the base color texture I have loaded. So this is only encoding basically the color of the object, depending on where we are on the object. This is the emissive texture. So there is only this small part, so the time and the temperature. This is the normal texture. Not sure if you are seeing it correctly in the stream, but this will encode basically the deviation of the normal on the model. And the last one is the material texture. So as I said before, we have actually 3 components here. So the red component will encode the occlusion. So as you can see, the black part are all the shadow that will be added to the material. We have the green channel. So the green channel encodes the roughness. So the more black we are, the more smooth will be the surface. And of course, the last one, the metallic property. So as I said before, basically you want it to be either metallic or completely non-metallic. That's why we have here all the metallic part that are encoded in blue, and all the black part that will encode all the non-metallic part of the object. All right. So that basically it for the texture. So one more thing I should mention is that everything is mapped to the path tracer. So if you choose the path tracer, you will have all the texture that are correctly uploaded to the ray tracer engine. All right. No question? Okay. We are currently working on the unification of the OpenGL and the ray tracer engine. So this is a good step with PBR to encode everything and modifying your material interactively. But you can actually create more complex material. There is a link in the description to the Osprey materials. This is very well documented here. So you have different material. You should definitely have a look at the documentation if you're interested in the materials. And so you have here the first one, the OBG material, with all the attributes you can set on your object. So you probably recognize all the different property we had in the Guo interpolation, and this is because all the material you configure with the Guo interpolation will be mapped to the OBG material in the ray tracer. And when you select PBR, you are actually creating behind the hood principal material that is very powerful with a lot of parameters. Unfortunately, we do not support all the parameters right now with the PBR engine, but we are supporting the main one, so the base color, the metallic, diffuse, and normal mapping and grossness, of course. But we will add more of those attributes in the next version. There is, of course, a lot of more complex material that you cannot actually configure interactively right now in ParaView. So you might want to have a look at all those materials. For these materials, you have to create a material database. You have actually a material database directly preset in ParaView. Let me just create a new torus. I will remove the light. Okay. You have here inside the ray tracing property group an attribute that is called material. So basically, you have here all the presets in ParaView. If you have built ParaView yourself, you should not have these presets. You can load it using a file, load path tracer materials, and select here a JSON file that will encode all the materials. I will not do it because I have already all the materials. But basically, you can select here all the presets. So you have here a nice aluminum material. Here is more like an example to show you how to set surface transparent with a texture. You have the copper, a glass. Yeah, we have a question. Yeah, so the question is, with the bottle and the skybox, should I disable the light kit or should I keep it enabled? I think it's as you want. I personally prefer to remove the light because the scene will have too much light, but it will also depend of your skybox. I mean, if you're using this skybox, let me select it. Yeah. If you select, yeah, let me select PBR. Okay. If you select this kind of skybox that is very dark, you might find that your material is too dark, and you want to add more lights in ParaView. So in this case, you just have to let the light kit enabled, and you can of course add more light if you prefer. So I would say it will depend on your skybox. Is there any other question? No, not yet. Okay. So yes, regarding all the materials here, there is also other materials. So I will just let you check all the materials. But basically, in order to create materials yourself, you will have to create a JSON file. This JSON file is actually really easy to configure. So you will here have the list of all the materials. So here is the name that will appear in ParaView. So in this case, glass. And you have to specify the type of the material. So the type of the material is the name of the material you find in the Osprey documentation. So in this case, we have a glass, so you just put glass here. And of course, you can modify also all the attributes of the materials to configure all your material. And if you want to map the property using a texture, you will have to specify it under the textures key. So basically, just take this JSON file and modify it to add your own materials. Yes, and this is it for me. We have other questions. Yes, good question. Actually, in the question is, can I have a skybox light but not the sun around the object? Actually, it's not possible yet. This is an ongoing work on our side, so it should be able. It should be possible in the next version, but sadly, no. For the moment, in order to have an environment light, you must have the skybox behind. Yeah, I will wait few minutes to see if you have more questions. Doesn't seem so. Yeah, there is a delay, a small delay of 20 seconds between when I talk and when you see the video. So I think waiting a few seconds might help here. All right. So no more question. So thanks everyone for attending this session. So please, if you have any comment, just write them in the discourse post of ParaView. If you want to see more webinar session, you can definitely ask. We are really happy to present those kind of webinars. So yeah, thanks everyone, and see you next time. Bye.